Hey everyone, in this video we're going to talk about using functions in JavaScript. Now in our last video we covered objects, and in the previous videos all the logic we used was executed. So for example, if we put in a console log hello or a console log name, or we created a variable and set it equal to something, that would definitely be run within our code. So for example, if we had a console log hello and then we had another console log which had world in it, hello world would be printed out. And there was no real way of us to decide whether a console log or a piece of functionality was going to be executed. If it was in the file, it was just executed, and that was that. But when we use functions, we can go and call a function under a certain circumstance. So that means we can decide on what we want to be executed in our program. So we have more control on what our programs can and cannot do. So let's start off by creating a new file, and we'll call this function.js. And I'm just going to go through a really super simple example just to demonstrate on what I was talking about when I was saying console log hello world had to be displayed. So we all know how to use console log. So I'm going to say console log, and within inside our console log I'm going to say hello. Now I'm going to go and create a second console log, and I'm going to put world inside the console log statement. So now if we go and run this function.js, we can see that hello gets displayed and world gets displayed. So that makes sense. I'm pretty sure that's what we were all expecting. But if I wanted to only display hello, let's say, and I didn't want to display world unless something else was true or something else happened, how could I do that? Well, I could just get rid of this console log statement, but that means that hello will always be displayed and world will just never be displayed, or it won't be possible for console log world to be displayed. So one thing that we can do is use a function, and I'm just going to leave my console log world back in here. And when I mean I'm going to create a function, this function is going to contain some piece of functionality, and the piece of functionality in this example will be it's just going to display out console.log world. Now in most functions they can be much more complex, but we're just going to keep it simple in this example. All our function is going to do is going to print out the word world. So to go and define a function, we have to use the function keyword. So we'll say function, and then after we use the function keyword, we have to create a name for it. And the reason why we have a name for all of our functions is because if we want to go and call that function, we need some way to reference it. So the same way that you have a name so that your teacher or that your parent or siblings can call you. Otherwise, how would you get somebody's attention if you didn't know their name? So a function works in the exact same way. It's just a way that we can go and call it to get it to execute something. So we're going to call this function say world, and we're just going to say world. So this is a bit of a strange name maybe, but this is the one that we're going to go with. And now we're going to have to put two round brackets after our function. And you might be wondering, what is the two round brackets for? And these round brackets take in things called parameters, but don't worry about parameters yet. We're going to cover them in another video, but just know that parameters are values that can be taken into a function. So we're just going to skip over that for now. Just know and remember that you have to put in a pair of round brackets after whatever your function name is, and then after your round brackets, you need to put in a pair of curly brackets. And within inside these curly brackets will be what the function will actually do. So as we said before, we want our function to console log the string world. So I'm going to put that in here. And now I'm going to just delete this line here because we no longer want that. So this is our first function that we've created. It's pretty simple. Again, we use the function keyword. Then we pick a name, like this could be anything. You could call this my function, or you could call this function1, or you could even call this your name. You could call this Ryan. And then again, remember we have our round brackets. They take in parameters, but we're not taking any parameters in this function for this example. So we can just leave that blank. So it's just an opening and a closing round bracket. And then we move on to our curly brackets, and inside our curly brackets will be whatever functionality or whatever code we want to execute, and in this case it's console.log world, because world is what we want to display. So if I go and run this now, we're gonna get an output. It's probably not going to be the one that you might expect, but we're going to go and run it and let's see what we get. So when we run this, we see hello. Now you're probably expecting to see hello world, but we only see hello. And that's because we've created this function that's able to print out world, but it's not being displayed. So this hello world is similar to like maybe a student that has got an answer to a question that you can't get, right? So they've got the answer the same way that this function can print out world, but you haven't asked the other student for their answer, so you still don't know the answer. So in the same way here, we haven't asked the function to go and do anything. So if we want to go and get the function to go and actually do something, we need to tell the function we want you to do something. And we can do this by calling the function. And to call a function, we just simply say the function name, so say world, and we put in a round opening and closing bracket. And now when our computer sees this say world with an opening and a closing bracket, it'll actually call this say world function and it will execute whatever it contains. So if we go and run this again, we should see hello world. So we see exactly what we expect now. We see hello world. Now, as I said to you before, this function name could be anything. So like we could call it Ryan. And now remember, since we've changed our function name to Ryan, we also need to change what function we're calling, because if we go and run this as it is now, we'll see we get this error, and it's basically saying that, you know, we can't see or we can't find say world. You're asking us to call a say world function, but we can't find it. So we need to go and change this to Ryan, because the compiler is right. There's no say world function. It doesn't exist anymore because we've replaced it with Ryan. So if we go and run this again, we get the exact same output. So this is just a name. Again, this could be anything, but it's good to not just name your functions random things or random names. You want it to actually have a name that makes sense. So for example, if the function in this case is console logging the name world, having a function name like say world, or maybe a name like print world, something like that would make sense. But if we have a name like Ryan here, it doesn't really make much sense because we're calling a function called Ryan and Ryan's printing out world. That's just something to keep in mind as you're programming, because it can be quite easy to call functions certain names. The same thing with variables. You can call a variable a certain name, and as you're programming, you know exactly what that variable does, or you know exactly what that function does, and you're calling it. But when you come back to the code, maybe next week or maybe in a month's time, you don't really remember what that function does, and you kind of have to figure out again. So if your naming conventions are better for your variables and for your functions. It's much easier for you to understand your code when you come back to it in a couple of weeks' time. And it's also much easier for your teacher or maybe a classmate to understand what's going on in your code. Maybe if you need some help or you're trying to show them your code and help them understand what you've done. But we've covered the basics of how to create a function. Now, in the next couple of videos, we're going to talk about the parameters and how we can send variables into a function, and how we can actually return values from a function, and how we can use that in our main function. And our main function is this bit up here, okay? So this is our main function, this is what's always executed, and then these other functions that we create, we can call these sub-functions.